Imagine stepping into a world few Europeans had ever seen. This is the power of Eugene Delacroix's masterpiece, Women of Algiers in Their Apartment. Painted in 1834, this monumental work is a window into a private, almost mythical space, the female quarters of a North African home. Delacroix created this scene after a diplomatic trip to Morocco and Algiers in 1832. The journey profoundly changed him. It offered him a living link to the classical world he had only read about. The painting itself is vast, commanding attention. It measures approximately 180 by 229 centimeters, or roughly 71 by 90 inches. It is not a small, intimate sketch but a grand statement piece intended for the Paris Salon, the most important art exhibition of its time. Delacroix chose the traditional medium of oil on canvas, the preferred material for ambitious history paintings. When it was displayed at the 1834 Salon, it caused an immediate sensation. Viewers were captivated by its exoticism, its sensuality, and its sheer artistic brilliance. They were looking at something entirely new. It felt authentic, drawn from direct observation. Delacroix was, above all, a master of color. In Women of Algiers, he unleashes a palette both opulent and harmonious, creating an atmosphere thick with heat and stillness. He uses deep, jewel-like tones that seem to glow from within the canvas. Rich reds, emerald greens, sapphire blues found in the sumptuous fabrics of the women's clothing, the intricate patterns of the wall tiles, the plush carpets covering the floor. These saturated colors are not applied flatly. Delacroix builds them up in layers, letting them vibrate against one another. He knew the power of complementary colors, placing reds next to greens to intensify both. The lighting is as dramatic and orchestrated as the color. A soft, diffused light filters in from the left, gently illuminating figures and objects. Not the harsh light of NeoClassicism, but a moody, atmospheric glow that creates deep, velvety shadows. This chiaroscuro carves the figures from darkness, adding intimacy and mystery. Delacroix's brushwork is alive with energy. He rejected the polished, invisible strokes of the Academy. His handling of oil is loose, expressive, and visible. You can see the artist's hand at work, quick dashes of paint suggesting the texture of a woven rug, the delicate folds of a translucent veil. The surface becomes a dynamic field of texture and color. Oil gives depth and luminosity other media cannot match. No artist creates in a vacuum. Delacroix was a keen student of art history. His work is a rich dialogue with past masters. The influence of the Venetian Renaissance painters Titian and Veronese, from them, Delacroix learned the power of color to create mood and to structure a composition. The Venetians broke from the Florentine emphasis on drawing, prioritizing color and light. Delacroix saw himself as their heir, championing their approach in 19th century Paris. Another influence was Peter Paul Rubens' dynamism, his swirling compositions, his sensual, energetic brushwork. Women of Algiers shows languor and repose, yet the paint application carries Rubens's energy. The fleshy presence of the women and the material richness, fabric, metal, tile, all show a debt to Rubens. Beyond Europe, the defining influence was his journey to North Africa. Orientalism was in vogue, but most works were fantasies by artists who never traveled. Delacroix was different, grounded in first-hand observation. He filled notebooks with sketches of people, architecture, and decorative objects. That direct contact gave his painting authenticity, making it feel modern to his contemporaries. This blend of influences makes the painting complex and powerful. He synthesized both. So, the painting presents us with 4 figures in a dimly lit, richly decorated room. 3 women are seated on the floor surrounded by luxurious cushions, carpets. The woman on the left is the most prominent. She leans back on a pile of cushions. Her gaze meets the viewer softly. Her expression remains distant and contemplative. Her relaxed posture, partially undone clothing, suggests informal ease. In the center, another woman leans toward her companion in quiet conversation, profile partly visible. The third woman on the right is in shadow, head bowed, listening or daydreaming, face nearly hidden. A fourth figure, a black servant, stands far right in the background, shown in motion, turning, pulling back a heavy curtain, creating narrative movement. Her presence and servant status add social complexity, highlighting the household hierarchy. Each woman is an individual, lost in thought, yet connected by shared space and heavy atmosphere. The objects around the women are painted with equal care. A hookah sits prominently in the center. One tube lies discarded on the carpet. Smoky air contributes to the languid, dreamlike mood. The room is full of decorative arts, vibrant North African textiles, intricately patterned ceramic tiles, elegant wooden patens, or bath clogs, near the hookah. These objects establish setting and sensory experience. Together, figures and objects narrate enclosure and interiority. The women exist in a private, protected space, separate from the outside. Women of Algiers is a quintessential work of the Romantic art movement. Romanticism championed emotion over reason, the individual over the collective, the sublime power of nature, the exotic over the orderly world of civilization. This painting ticks every box. It rejects the stiff, moralizing subjects of NeoClassicism in favor of a scene drenched in mood, sensuality, mystery. The focus is not on a grand historical narrative or a clear ethical lesson, but on the evocation of feeling. Delacroix wants us to feel the heat of the room, to smell the perfumed smoke, and to sense the quiet melancholy of the enclosed women. The painting's symbolism is rich and layered. The enclosed room of the harem is a private, interior world, both a sanctuary and a prison. It represents imagination and dreams, far removed from the rational, male-dominated public sphere of 19th-century Europe. The hookah symbolizes languor, altered consciousness, a retreat from reality into sensory pleasure. The impact of Women of Algiers was immediate and profound. It established Orientalism as a major theme in French art, but with a new level of authenticity and artistic ambition. The painting's influence echoed into modern art. The Impressionists, the Post-Impressionists looked to Delacroix as a spiritual father. Most famously, Pablo Picasso became obsessed with the painting, creating a series of 15 paintings and numerous drawings. Delacroix did not just paint a scene, he unlocked a new way of seeing.